All right. What's going on, YouTube? So the vloggity vlog. So I saw the most recent Sess's something, Adam Sessler. What a tool he's become. I know a few people are talking about him. Figured I could weigh in. So he got a question about, Wii U's future. It gave a really silly response about, apparently he thinks that the Wii U, what it needs to succeed is not just to drop the gamepad, right? No, that's not good enough. He wants Nintendo to drop the Wii U and Pro Controller. Basically, in Sess's fantasy world, the best Wii U is the one with the fewest options. Does that make sense to you? The best Wii U is the one with the fewest options, the fewest control options. He wants to, force the Xbox 360 control scheme on you. That's what he wants. Because he's pissed off that the analog stick on the right is above the buttons. That's really eating him up inside. But he doesn't want the Wiimotes as a control option. He doesn't want the gamepad as a control option. He thinks that's what's going to make the Wii U successful, is to get rid of all the options that it has. I'm sorry, but I can't agree. I think that's the worst thing Nintendo could do. The gamepad sets them apart. It's unique. It's different. It's something that Nintendo has shown that they know how to deal with. They got the same kind of flack when they went to dual screen gaming with the DS, and you know what? They made that shit work, and it's printed money ever since. Right? The whole dual screen idea has printed money ever since they implemented it. So, the worst thing that they could do... Now, Nintendo's got a little bit of history innovating with controllers. They did it with the D-pad. They did it with the analog stick. They did it with, the shoulder buttons. They've done this shit before. You'd think that, you could give them a little bit of, it's only, since the console's only been out a year, you think you'd give them a little bit of leeway to kind of prove their point with the control scheme. Another one that was a little bit weird was the Nintendo 64. That controller was insane. Half of it you couldn't use most of the time, and somehow it still worked. You were still able to play and enjoy your games with that controller. Despite Nintendo's, odd control schemes, they try to do things different with the controllers all the time. And their developers are on board, and you can tell that their developers are on board. And honestly, if Adam Sessler has an issue, you know, playing games, he did mention in another video about Game of the Year stuff that he can't figure out how to play Super Mario 3D World because the analog stick is on the top instead of the bottom. You can't figure out how to press buttons. You can't, you know, it's 2 buttons down there. There's only 2 buttons you need to worry about: jump and run. And they're actually like they're like right there at your fingertips. So not sure what his issue is, but it's also like you can use different controllers. You can use a Pro controller. You can use a classic controller, which was the same thing. You could use Wiimote and Nunchuck. You could use Wiimote. I mean, the control schemes are there. They give you plenty of options to figure out how to play this game for yourself. You know? I mean, the only thing that you really have to worry about is at some point you're going to need to interact with the screen, either with the gamepad, or I think with the Wiimote as well. You can do it, just you know, do the environmental stuff. But they provide you with ample options to control the game. It's not like they locked you down, right? It's not like they gave you one controller and said, this is the controller you're going to use. Now, if they locked you down to the Wiimote for that crap, I can understand, but they didn't. I was a little bit disappointed in Pikmin 3 simply because the gamepad controls felt a little gimped, and I would have expected the gamepad controls to be a little bit stronger than the Wiimote controls this time around, because I wanted a reason to use the gamepad in that game. Even though the Wiimote, you know, made sense because I'd played it like that on the Wii with Pikmin 2, I still wanted an excuse to use the gamepad. And here looks like a good spot. Ugh. So, the Xbox One has been getting a lot of bad word of mouth recently. And between, you know, the dearth of really good titles out for it, you know, Forza 5 was kind of a Forza 5 is not really what they should have brought to the table at launch. But between the dearth of titles, the issues that they're having with the hardware, the Xbox One's leaking capacitor fluid, having capacitors burst on them, and bricking the system, they're not really winning anybody over. You know, add to that the fact that, you know, I was talking to somebody that said that their Xbox One, there's, you know, they enjoy it, they enjoy the games, but a lot of the features that, you know, that they propped up, the TV features, snapping, the chat features, you know, using Skype and stuff like that, it doesn't exactly work as advertised. The response times are sluggish. And then you've got issues in game with Kinect, where it's always, you know, it's obviously always listening. So a lot of the background conversation is being registered as commands for the game, really screwing up the driving experience. So they're really not, and you know, I don't want to see them get rid of Kinect. I think that Kinect sets them apart the same way that the gamepad sets Nintendo apart this generation. And I think that they need that to be successful to move forward. But they need to figure out a better way to keep a lot of that background noise from being registered as commands. And they need to also figure out a way to keep people from, you know, griefing people online, and like Call of Duty Ghosts, when, you know, somebody wants to rage quit, they say Xbox off. And you know, most people don't care about their DNF percentage. But it really screws with people that really want to enjoy the game. It screws up the online interaction experience. So those are some issues that the Xbox One's having. I also saw an article on GameInformer. How to get over yearly sequel fatigue was the article, and I'll link it down in the comment section, or not in the comment section, but I'll link it down below. And the gist of the article was what we need from, you know, industry, you know, game makers who release yearly sequels is that they need to pull a Blood Dragon. And Blood Dragon was a DLC for Far Cry that basically changed all of the rules of the game. I mean, it changed, it kind of made it like a 1980s cyberpunk type of experience. And, you know, that's actually really cool. Right around the same time that was announced and released, another DLC that kind of did the same thing was released, and that was New Super Luigi U. Same basic game mechanics, but it added a different level of challenge. It added, you know, different abilities. I think that those are the types of DLC that we should expect from these publishers. And if they don't deliver something like that, if they don't deliver a Blood Dragon, if they don't deliver a New Super Luigi U, then we need to not be buying their DLC. It makes no sense to spend, you know, $10, $20, $30 on DLC if it's just a car pack, or if it's just a couple weapons or something like that that's going to make it easier to play the game. That's not the kind of DLC that I'm interested in buying. I'm also absolutely not interested one bit in microtransactions. There's going to be another third-party game that's going to be announced, either a collaboration or just a third-party exclusive, something similar to like what Bayonetta 2 did, and I hope that happens. I think that'd be really good, you know, marketing for the system, and, you know, they need that kind of thing right now. However, the recent sales figures, even though they're from VGChartz, and the Media Create sales numbers, the VGChartz sales numbers, they all paint a very nice picture for the Wii U. And I'm excited to see where that takes Nintendo. There was an issue with the Nintendo Network recently, and Nintendo came out, it was on I think December 26th, and Nintendo came out and said it was due to a one-time activation of, you know, one-time overload basically of the system. So they had just a butt ton of activations and account creations. Now, they did two things that probably caused this to happen. They opened up Nintendo Network to 3DS, and they sold a butt ton of 3DSs and Wii U's over the holidays. So both of those are going to contribute to that. So you got Xbox Ones peeing on themselves. You got PS4s that are getting white gunk on all over the inside of the case. I think it's probably just, you know, that's a nice view. It probably has something to do with just mineral content in the air. You know, probably sitting on top of the components. Components fire up. It heats up real quick. It disperses that mineral content, and it happens over and over and over again. You know, you're gonna get a little bit of discharge on the inside of the console. It's just something you got to be careful about. Anytime you have electronics, you want to make sure the humidity is just so. If it's not, then it's going to cause problems. Electronics tend to be very finicky with humidity levels and the heat levels inside any environment. So I don't think that the PS4 issue is blown capacitor, because I've never seen, you know, I've been doing IT work for over 10 years now, and I've never seen a system with a blown capacitor continue to function. I mean, I'm sure perhaps it's possible. I've just never seen it happen. But yeah, in my opinion, the Xbox One is definitely losing that word of mouth battle right now, and the Wii U, because they keep getting Publisher of the Year, and you know, Super Mario 3D World has gotten actually several Game of the Year awards from like Eurogamer and Edge and stuff like that. And then, you know, it's just a lot of really good news coming out right now for Nintendo. From the industry, not, you know, from Nintendo necessarily. Nintendo really hasn't said anything recently except for their last Direct, which wasn't, you know, a whole lot to talk about. Though, I'll tell you what, I am excited about that Louvre experience. So I'm actually really excited about that. And if I ever do go there, I'm going to pick that up, because that's almost certainly going to be a collector's item, because it's only available there at the Louvre. Alright guys, that is it for this video. Remember to like, favorite, comment, subscribe. Leave a little feedback if you feel the urge. And I will see you guys next time. Have a good one.